Welcome to the new TMZ Live, where we bring you inside our newsroom as our staff chases down today's stories in real time.
Welcome to TMZ Live. Harvey Levin here.
Charles here.
So, this is a big deal. This is a big deal. President Trump is seriously considering pardoning Diddy. And we know this. We have sources with direct knowledge that people from the White House have been in communication with the defense team, Diddy's defense team, and that Trump is seriously considering it, and this is going to be timed to the judge's decision on whether Diddy gets bail.
This would be the ultimate smokescreen, and we've seen for weeks some very major smokescreens, but this one would have to take the cake.
Now, well, look, let's kind of explore it. Diddy was acquitted on the three major charges. Without those three charges, the prosecution never would have filed this case. The two remaining ones were violations of the Mann Act, which is essentially transporting a prostitute across state lines.
So
they would not have prosecuted for that.
So the point being, because the more serious crimes, he was acquitted on the more serious crimes, that opens the window that the Trump administration now feels it wouldn't be as bad to, there wouldn't be as much backlash to pardon him?
It's part of it, but it's not all of it. I think what underlies it is, for all sorts of reasons, Donald Trump feels that he was unfairly targeted by the Justice Department, and particularly the Southern District of New York.
Sure.
And so, in Diddy's case, he is was prosecuted by the Southern District of New York. His defense team has said from the get-go, this was a targeted prosecution going into somebody's bedroom. It was unfair, and it resonates with Donald Trump.
I get that.
But it's not just that, Harvey.
Also,
Maureen Comey was the lead prosecutor in the case, and you know that he hates James Comey, who is Maureen's
Well, the Justice
brother.
Department fired her.
She's been fired, although nobody will say why she was fired. But
this is what's interesting. We are told this is timed to the judge's decision on bail. You know, or we've told you, that Diddy has asked to be released on $50 million bond. And the prosecution has until tomorrow to respond to that. Presumably, they're going to oppose it. And then the judge is going to rule. We are told if the judge rules that Diddy gets bail, Trump will wait to make his decision until he sees what the sentence is. If the judge,
October.
In October, October 3rd. If the judge denies bail, then Trump is going to make a decision possibly immediately thereafter.
Most likely, the judge is going to, based on previous decisions, it feels like the judge is going to deny bail.
I don't know. I mean, because remember, all of the previous, the big previous decision was pre-conviction.
But there was also a decision after the conviction where the judge denied bail.
For $1 million. For $1 million.
So basically the judge is going to say, because you're now offering $49 million more as bond, I'm going to let you out?
We'll see. But if the judge does...
The judge's reason for not letting him out was that you and your attorneys have said that you are a violent person.
I get it.
That part hasn't changed in, what, 3 weeks?
And we debated that yesterday. You may be right that he's going to...
Anyway, that's why I feel like...
If he's denied bail, then Trump could rule... I mean, this decision...
My point is
this decision is going to come next week. If not Friday, it's going to come next week. And Donald Trump, if he's denied bail, we are told, because of these discussions between the White House and the defense team, he will rule... He will make a decision.
Why would he do that pre-sentencing? I mean, like, pardon
because what he's going to say
prior to the sentencing. I mean, we went through an entire trial.
I can give you two reasons.
That's kind of unfair too.
I can give you two reasons. The simple reason is that he would say it accentuates how unfair it is to keep somebody in, behind bars for violating the Mann Act.
Right.
The bigger reason is, as one very well-placed source told me, it is the perfect distraction from Epstein.
And that's wrong. It is not the perfect distraction. It is an imperfect distraction. Because instead of talking about Jeffrey Epstein, now people will talk about the fact that you are letting out another rich buddy, letting him out of his sentence, whatever it is, whatever the sentence is, you are wiping that away, and people will immediately remind Trump and the administration of the fact that Diddy, we have this video that I know he was not on trial for it, I know that's not what he was convicted for, but that video of him beating Cassie is very much in people's minds.
You just proved my point.
It is an imperfect
No, you
distraction.
proved my point. It's perfect.
No.
No, hold on.
Because
no, hold on.
So instead of the pedophile,
yes,
it's
yes,
the domestic abuser.
Exactly. And that's exactly what he wants to do.
That's an imperfect distraction.
In their view, it's a perfect distraction because they want to get rid of Epstein. And if the discussion
the way it will be drawn up by everyone is, no, not only were you friends with Epstein, now you're such good friends with this guy who's a domestic abuser.
Yeah, but the thing is that the media can't handle two stories at once this way. So either it's going to be Epstein or Diddy.
When they intersect that closely,
they don't really. I don't know.
Two very bad guys. Is how it will be painted.
Well, I get it.
Okay.
I'm not.
My point is, I think they can actually, the media can do two things at once if that's the way this actually goes down.
They'll go crazy if he pardons Diddy.
Claudio, Fort Worth. I think we're like, you guys are right. This is another distraction, but let's look at the big picture here. I'm not surprised that Trump's White House is talking about pardoning Diddy, a billionaire convicted of trafficking related crimes. This is the same guy who just said that he's allowed to pardon convicted trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell and who called the Epstein files a hoax. There's a pattern here, and it's not about justice for victims. That's what we should be talking about. It's about protecting the rich and powerful from accountability.
That is exactly how it will be painted by the media. And not just the media, the same people, even the same Trump supporters who are writing him about Epstein will now write him about this.
No, they won't. They feel very differently about Epstein.
You think that those people are going to go like, oh, Diddy's okay.
We got to move on, but I'll tell you why. Because there's no mystery around Diddy. There's a huge mystery around Epstein. And that's why MAGA wants this file opened up.
Right.
But with Diddy, there's no mystery. It's just going to be controversy.
And if
Trump can choose that controversy over Epstein, he's gonna.
Well, an absolutely remarkable scene in Ozzy Osbourne's hometown today, where thousands of people filled the streets of Birmingham to say goodbye to the godfather of heavy metal.
It was like a royal funeral.
It really
was
very much in the UK, exactly this sort of procession that they would have for a member of the royal family. And it was incredibly moving just as a fan, but then the real heart-tugging started when you saw Sharon and Jack, but the whole family
you just
arrived.
see the grief on Sharon's face. It's really moving. I'll tell you, Sharon, the family is really amazing. I know Kelly some, and I know Sharon over the years. And Sharon was one of the most dedicated spouses I've ever encountered.
Yeah.
I mean, she was so ride or die for Ozzy and helped him. Sharon Osbourne, she was responsible in so many ways for his career, after Black Sabbath.
Yeah, her dad was Black Sabbath's manager, and the idea was that basically he would send Sharon to get Ozzy cleaned up and in shape enough to go back to Black Sabbath. And that wound up not happening. He became Ozzy Osbourne, and Sharon was the one who did that.
She was his manager.
But more than that, obviously they fell in love, got married. She's the one who got him to go to rehab for the first time.
Yeah.
For many times. It was an ongoing battle for Ozzy for most of his life, but she made him a better person.
And I got to say that, you saw the video where she's breaking down and she's crying as they're putting the flowers down. I don't know if that was necessarily grief. I mean, obviously there's grief, but it could also be just a reaction to the outpouring of the entire city.
It's such a weird, that video to me is such a weird mix of solemn and celebratory.
Yes.
It's a very solemn event. They're in black. It's a memorial for Ozzy. But everyone's just chanting they love him and cheering. And
yeah,
you have to feel both of those emotions so intensely.
And there's no way that she and the whole family didn't feel both of those emotions.
I agree with you. I didn't really think of that, but maybe she was overcome just by the sheer, the size of this crowd. I mean, it's, you don't see this a lot.
No.
And he traversed different generations. I mean, Black Sabbath is one, his solo career is another, the Osbournes TV show is one, and, you know.
And was beloved at every single step.
2 weeks before his death, getting on stage and performing in ways that nobody thought he could.
Well, to that point, Crazy Train actually debuted for the first time on the chart this week. It didn't chart back when it came out. And so Ozzy's now charted a new song for the past 6 decades.
That's nuts.
That's impressive.
These are the kinds of facts that I learn from Eric every week on our podcast. Get to the hook. And we did an Ozzy episode this week, and I learned so much from Eric.
That was an excellent shameless plug.
Well done.
Yes, it was.
Well done.
Subtle.
Black Sabbath was a very important band to music in general, not just its own genre. And Ozzy Osbourne led that. He led that movement. He led what I believe is the creation of most genres of music today. And I really respect him, and everything that he's done, he deserves that applause. He deserves that love in London. And I give my respect to Kelly, Jack, and Sharon, of course.
Yeah, I'm sure they were comforted by this.
Absolutely.
Coming up.
Tom Brady, is he the GOAT of parenting?
He's saying he's not the GOAT
He's saying he's not the GOAT.
But he's saying he's a good parent.
And another way to look at it is that he's rationalizing being an absentee
I don't
parent.
think it's rationalizing.
Joining us is Dr. Shafali. She's a clinical psychologist and child expert, so she can settle this for us once and for all.
Be right back.
Unquestionably, the GOAT of football, right? Tom Brady, that argument's kind of over, right? No one's arguing that. Is he the GOAT of parenting?
He's saying he's not the GOAT
He's
of
saying
parenting,
he's not the GOAT,
but he's saying he's a good parent. And the reason this is so important is that when he was having difficulties with Gisele during their marriage, what we were getting back was she was upset, especially the last couple of years, that he was away a lot and not, as she viewed it, parenting their kid.
Right. She wanted him to be home spending more time with the family, and he wanted to play a couple more years. We know how that all played out. So because of that, some people are now taking this newsletter that he's posted as perhaps a jab at Gisele. It might be that. It's definitely him saying, this is how I parent and why I think it is a good path to take. So some of what he says in this newsletter, he said, I think part of being a great father is being a great example of doing what it takes to take care of your family. I chose to do it by playing football.
He goes on.
My dedication to the sport, those were times when I believe I was doing the best possible thing for my family and my kids by prioritizing my profession and teaching what it takes to be really good at your job.
This is the key.
Remember, your children are watching everything. Reading bedtime stories and helping them with homework are not the only ways
The only ways.
Look, you're putting the emphasis
to
on
be a great parent.
You're putting the emphasis on only. I don't know if Tom was, because again, we're just reading this newsletter.
But the reason I love this story, and the reason I love it so much is Tom Brady goes on to say that, winning Super Bowl rings doesn't make you a great parent, but he's saying there are qualities that he showed his kids about perseverance and excellence that really do impact them and help them grow and become successful adults. And I think that's great.
And another way to look at it is that he's rationalizing being an absentee
I don't think
parent.
it's rationalizing. Well, let's say
some people may look at it that way. I'm not saying I do. I'm just saying that's what some people may hear.
We need an arbiter
when they see that. Exactly, because what do we know? Joining us now is a clinical psychologist, Dr. Shefali. She's a clinical psychologist and child expert, so she can settle this for us once and for all, we hope. Dr. Shefali, welcome to TMZ Live.
Hi, I just love this debate because it speaks to so much more than just parenting, but I'm so happy to weigh in.
So, look, my parents owned a liquor store, and they were in that store from 7 in the morning till 2 the next morning. So I was alone a lot, but what they gave me was really valuable. They showed me, you know, they taught me hard work. They taught me perseverance, dealing with adversity.
But
and
they weren't.
And they weren't necessarily present the way parents are today, but it still is a form of good parenting, which is, I think, what Tom Brady is talking about.
And there's no doubt that children do need role models that, you know, can exude all those qualities. But what they need even more than that is a relationship, a connection. Children learn through engagement, through the presence of their parents. And that missing piece is often the missing part of their foundation as they grow up. Now, you learned a lot from it because of your unique essence and your temperament, but not everyone else could say that. But what they truly need is an attuned, conscious, present parent, and that takes being there and building that relationship, and that is really the foundation.
Doctor, what Tom Brady is saying is, why can't it be both? He showed them that, yes, I have to go to work, I'm going to provide for my family, and I'm also going to try to be the best at that profession every single day, and then also make sure that there is time that you are spending with your kids and reading them stories or helping them with homework or whatever that thing is. You can do both, and that's what he's suggesting.
Well, if you can do both, absolutely. However, I will say that many people are not able to do both very well. And many, especially in this hustle culture that we live in and this very achievement-oriented culture, we tend to veer more on our personal achievements, on how much money we're making. And many parents get lost in the jungle of the more on the outside, and they forget that children actually will not remember so much of that, but they will remember how much was my father or mother really there in my tough times, were there when I really needed their presence. That is the basis of emotional resilience at the end of the day.
And I really do think that this is, I hear what you're saying, that parents need to be present. I think it's gone overboard where they're so present that they're smothering and that they protect kids in such a way that they're not equipped to deal with lumps when they grow up. And that's one of the reasons that we have so many mental health. One of the reasons there are mental health problems. Kids can't cope because they're so shielded and protected that they don't have the independence. So I think it's gone too far. I mean, people in my office think I'm crazy, but I think it's gone too far.
Hold on, that's not, okay, let the doctor answer. And then.
But you know what? We see these trends. We see that the pendulum keeps swinging. And you're right, we sometimes have overcorrected. So the generation that we came from that had to be the latchkey children who came in and made our own peanut butter sandwiches because there was no parent around. Now we've swung the other way and we have overcorrected. I will give you that. And I think we have to find that easy dance of giving yourself what you need and your family in terms of things and provisions, but also not going the other way of like spending all your time with them, because then you may enable or create an overdependency. So it's that fine art, and parenting is an art, it's a dance, and you're always finding your true authenticity in that dance.
Dr. Shefali, thank you so much for being with us. And of course, folks can check out your podcast, Parenting and You, for more information about parenting. Don't get it from him.
Coming up.
Katy Perry and former Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. There was more after the dinner date, but there was a part 3 to what is very clearly a date. I guess, wait, is it dating if it's only been one date?
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
Phoebe Rexa was looking hot on vacation.
Look at the water, too.
Did you just say, look at the water? I mean, I'll be honest, that is what I was looking at.
They're dating.
Definitely dating. Talking about Katy Perry and former Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. We showed you them out and about in Montreal, but there was more after
That was the dinner
date.
That's the dinner.
Right. There was dinner. Before dinner, there was the park.
And
but there was a part 3 to what is very clearly a date. I guess. Wait. Is it dating if it's only been one date?
I don't think this is the first go-around.
You think that there was a date before
They
this?
were so chummy. I don't think this was the first go-around. That's them at the park. Yeah. Anyway, after dinner.
I suspect first date.
You do?
I do.
After the dinner, they went on a terrace. And
yes. And this is interesting because they're wearing different outfits again. Look at that video, you guys. Katy Perry has on a dress, and it appears that Justin Trudeau's left hand is actually around Katy's waist. So this was in Montreal. It was at Tavern Atlantic. They went on the terrace where we're told they had some drinks, some cocktails together. The funny part about this is that when Katy was on the terrace, she asked to order a Jack and Coke. But because of the terrace, they're like, we're not doing American
that's
liquor.
right. That's right. They're not doing red state.
So instead she got a Crown Royale. But yeah, I mean, if you're going out for dinner, you're going out for drinks.
Going to a park.
Now hold on a second.
Park.
I'm gonna challenge you on the different outfit from dinner.
Yes.
We can't see what Katie's wearing at dinner. Right?
Well, no, but he's got
and that's the jacket.
You know what?
That's the jacket.
This is the same. This is the same color.
So we don't
jacket.
know what shirt he's wearing under the jacket at dinner.
But the ones
and we can't see what she's wearing. No, in the park it's definitely
they're wearing
different.
something different.
Yes.
So possibly 2 separate dates.
I think what they did was
after dinner they went.
After dinner they went for drinks on this terrace. So
now, let me tell you why I think it was first date.
I think it's not the first date.
And let me tell you why I think it is first date.
They've known each other, I think.
Oh, I think they've probably known each other. Maybe they've even run into each other at whatever events. First date. The amount of engagement when they're sitting at dinner.
Yeah.
And how much he's paying attention.
Charles.
So you get bored after the first one and you don't pay attention?
No, I'm just saying that he's very. All I'm saying is, don't walk away. What are you doing?
No, I mean,
all I'm saying
you're digging the hole. I want to get away from the hole.
I'm just saying he's very, very interested. That's not a.
I'm not saying.
Oh, look, and she did that.
I'm not saying it's a
she does
date.
the
just
finger to put her hair back like this.
They're
both very much engaged with what they're saying. That's first date. First date body language, for sure.
Here's what's telltale. I believe it's tonight she's performing in Montreal.
Yep.
They are in Montreal, both of them. And if he goes to her concert tonight,
it's game on.
That's it.
Hey, y'all. This is Lady T from Baltimore. Listen, Justin Trudeau and Katy Perry dating was not on my 2025 bingo card for this year at all. I hope it's just a fling. I really hope it's not that serious, honestly.
Why?
If it is serious, then she better not do him dirty, or else we're going to have to send her back to space. I really am not feeling this.
Why are you saying she would do him dirty?
I don't know, because, well, you know, he's my crush. So I feel like he's one of my crushes. I just feel like he is just this, you know, he's genuine, he's hot, and he just looks like he's such a good guy. And, you know, Katy Perry is Katy.
If this happens, this will be the couple to follow.
Oh,
it
absolutely.
will be the couple to
And
follow.
I want to be very clear about something, that no matter how many dates you're
stop
on,
it.
you always pay attention to what your significant other is saying. Always.
You hear that?
Coming up.
What we found out about Hulk's estate and where the money is going is pretty remarkable, because Brooke Hogan is not scheduled, at least on paper, to get anything. And she's fine with that.
Be right back.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. A remarkable story about just how deep the rift was between members of Hulk Hogan's family. We know that Brooke Hogan was estranged from him for a while, and not necessarily only because of things that her relationship with him. It also had to do with her relationship with her mother, and also her relationship with people around her father. And the story we broke yesterday.
It was fractured for a couple of years.
Yeah, and they started to
getting back
and
together.
Hulk started to get things, patch things together. But what we found out about Hulk's estate and where the money is going is pretty remarkable, because Brooke Hogan is not scheduled, at least on paper, to get anything, and she's fine with that. In fact, that was something that she wanted because she just did not want to be in the middle of what she knew, in her estimation, was going to end up being a big, scrap over Hulk's money.
Which is weird to me, because there isn't necessarily a big scrap if there is a proper estate plan. If a lawyer drafts the will in a way that it really can't be challenged, somebody can try, but if it can be almost bulletproof. So that's why there's something about this where it feels like there's more.
It feels like she knows something about the people. Maybe she knows who the executors are. Maybe she feels like the only reason for her to make that determination, I would think, is...
Do we have any idea what Hulk was worth? I mean, is there an estimate on this?
Sure, there's...
Great question.
There's one of those internet estimates.
Yeah, let me look.
The internet's saying he's worth around $25 million.
I think it's more than that.
Oh, it's definitely more than 25.
He's got beer companies. He had a lot of.
And also, what he made as a at WWE.
And think what his name is worth. Just his name.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be more than that.
So I'm just not fully understanding why she
did this.
Well,
why she seems to think there's going to be a fight? Because you're right.
Yeah.
If there is a
Well, he's got a new wife.
Right.
I mean, he's got a wife that he obviously married in 2023, was not here for much of his life, right? She just came onto the scene a couple of years ago.
But if he chooses to change his will, and if he chooses to make her, the wife, the beneficiary, that's his choice.
Right, absolutely.
And he can do that.
Yeah, I remember Harvey.
But I mean, I don't know that he did that.
No.
But he can do that.
But it would not shock me. I remember talking to him on the phone right after he got married, and he was so happy. He felt like he had gained a new family, and he was so just positive about the future. It would not shock me.
So what was his beef with Brooke?
Well, she says that her husband, Brooke's husband, had actually been talking to Hulk and trying to find a way to fix the relationship.
What are you saying?
So they hadn't talked for 2 years. They hadn't talked since 2023 was the last conversation they ever had, and it was a phone conversation, and ultimately they just never talked after that. And multiple times, what I'm being told, it was a culmination of things over the years that built up. It wasn't some big fight. It was just a culmination of their relationship and all the stuff they've gone through, and ultimately the other big issue is I think she just had an issue with the people, no one specific, but just the people he had around him. Felt like, at least her feelings were, people were taking advantage of him, and he didn't want to hear.
You can't say no one specific. She clearly, there are specific people.
He has a lot of people around him.
She hasn't named them, but she must have.
Oh yeah, I'm sure she knows. I don't know.
That were the problem.
But it sounds like she wanted him to slow down.
Oh, that is 100%.
Yeah, but if you want somebody to slow down, you don't say I'm going to cut you off.
Right.
That's what doesn't make sense.
Right.
Ivor here from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I respect Brooke for stepping back. I think there's a really big expectation that when you are the daughter of a superstar like Hulk Hogan, there's a massive payout. Obviously, in the last few years of his life, they had not seen eye to eye and had a lot of challenges. And for her to pick peace over profit says a lot about her and her character. So kudos to her, and I'm sorry for her loss at the same time, but for her to make this statement shows her integrity.
Yeah, but I don't see the profit issue.
He's right. It does show integrity, though, because why would someone voluntarily say, I don't want any part of what is going to be that kind of money?
Sometimes we get it, and sometimes we just don't get.
I agree that we don't fully understand why, but I agree with what he's saying, that it does show integrity on her part to not want the money.
Yeah.
Okay, big shocker. A reality show couple didn't work out. Although there are some people who are very upset about this. Talking about Janae and Kenny from Love Island, and they have broken up.
Oh, damn.
I know you're really hang in there. It's gonna.
I did watch season 7.
This is season 7 we're talking about, right?
No, we're talking about
season 6. That's season 6.
Yeah,
right.
season 6.
All right. So they split up. That happens all the time in reality shows. What makes this really interesting is that one of Janae's friends has weighed in. Charmaine is her name, and she posted something that is very telling. Now, Janae has said very little about what exactly transpired and why they broke up. Been a little hints here and there, but Charmaine, wow. Charmaine flamed him. Is that right? Is that the phrase? Flamed him?
You're cool,
I love
you're
Janae.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, Charmaine kind of gave us what he said without telling us
his name.
what he
Excuse
said.
me.
So basically, she gave a warning to women. She said, if you are a woman, I suggest you go through your man's phone today and search keywords like, I don't like black women. I thought I would get more money from this. I am faking this relationship. I'm going on this show for clout. I can't wait to be done with this so I can blank multiple blanks.
How did, well, hold on, but how did Charmaine know that it was on his phone?
Basically, what Charmaine, she's giving us the tea. She's giving us the tea because not only was Charmaine said that, but Leah, who was also on the show with them, posted something and said, Kenny, be quiet, you racist, clout-chasing demon. So basically, Janae has let her friends know, her friends and family, what she's
Well, did your friends have dropped all
and now
the
the friends are
crumbs,
breadcrumbing and letting us, the fans, know what Janae found on that phone.
So Janae looked at the phone.
1,000%. Janae went through the phone and saw some racist, clout-chasing messages that made it seem
So she claims. Now, what has Kenny said in his defense?
Kenny, after Janae's original statement, Kenny did say, you know, breaking up is tough. I wish her nothing but the best. We're going on, you know, this relationship wasn't sustainable. We tried our best. But after he said that, Janae said, boy, if you don't, be quiet. If you say one more thing, I am going to spill all the tea. And Kenny was mute as a mouse. Haven't heard from him.
Coming up.
We are about to talk to our buddy Michael Knowles. We're talking Sydney Sweeney, the ad that she did for American Eagle that has a lot of people up in arms.
They're going after Sydney Sweeney because she's hot and the left doesn't like hot people, and because she's white and the left doesn't like white people.
Be right back.
All right, we are about to talk to our buddy Michael Knowles from the Michael Knowles Show, but we're not talking politics really this week.
Adjacent.
We're talking Sydney Sweeney, which has gotten somewhat political.
It totally has.
If you have not seen it yet, and I'm not sure how you could have missed it, this is the ad that she did for American Eagle that has a lot of people up in arms and other people just going, shut up, woke people. But this is the ad.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very genes.
So the intimation here is eugenics, that there are people who are saying that this is what Hitler's Germany said, that you want, blue-eyed, blonde-haired, beautiful people. Michael Knowles tweeted this. In fairness, by the broadest definition of the term, marrying a beautiful person rather than an ugly person is a form of eugenics. So,
Michael?
Well, there's something really funny about the left going after American Eagle and Sydney Sweeney for supposedly promoting eugenics. Namely that the left's favorite organization, nonprofit org, is Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood was born out of the eugenics movement in the early 20th century by one of the most prominent eugenicists in the world, Margaret Sanger, specifically to improve the race of human beings on Earth. So it's kind of rich that they're going after eugenics.
Well, but you're mixing up two very different issues.
Very unfair.
Am
to
I?
say
I don't think it's all eugenics. I mean, that was literally the eugenics movement. And so now they're saying, that's what they called it.
Let's hold on.
She was not for removing.
We are going to call it for what it is. You can't say abortion is because I didn't get a blonde-haired, blue-eyed baby. That's not what abortion is about. You know that.
No, guys. Margaret Sanger founded Planned Parenthood.
I know.
She was a prominent eugenicist. She did it to improve the race of human beings. She wrote books about it. I mean, this is undeniable. But anyway, it's kind of funny that the left is going after eugenics now. But of course, there is a very bad kind of eugenics, like Planned Parenthood and Hitler. But there's also a normal kind of eugenics, which is when you just want to marry a hot person. And so, because it literally just means good and genes. So it is what's in the ad. But I think they're attacking Sydney Sweeney because she's hot, basically. And so my question then is, now imagine that it weren't Sydney Sweeney. Let's say that in the ad it was Beyonce or something. And it was Beyonce said all the same stuff. Beyonce has good genes. Would the left be going after her? Would they say this is eugenics, this is Nazism, this is Hitler? No, I think they're going after Sydney Sweeney because she's hot and the left doesn't like hot people, and because she's white and the left doesn't like white people.
When we started talking about this segment, I actually said to someone in the office, I was like, I think I'm actually going to agree with Michael on this one. that this
Let's
is
go.
wokeism gone a little too crazy to say that this is Nazism. But then we start the segment, and you are now comparing Planned Parenthood
with Hitler.
to Nazis.
With Hitler.
Now I'm
Guys,
absolutely
again,
not
I
going
know
to
you're
agree with
looking
you.
at me
That
like I
is
have three
insanity.
heads. I know you're looking at me like I have three heads. The founder of Planned Parenthood said
it.
she founded Planned Parenthood for eugenics.
That's 100 years ago.
This was about removing a race of people.
That's 100 years ago.
Saying that we want all races to be represented on the planet. That was her eugenics.
It's
not the same thing.
When she said this, it was 20 years before Hitler annihilated the Jewish population in
Hitler
Germany.
took eugenics to its logical but horrible conclusion.
And that's not what abortion or Planned Parenthood is about right now.
Right,
You know
Planned
that.
Parenthood's killed a lot more people than Hitler. That's certainly
But it's
true, an order
not
of
what it's
magnitude more people than
about.
Hitler.
You know it's not what it's about.
This is what's so funny about the backlash to the commercial. It's not like having hot ladies half naked on TV is the most, right-wing conservative traditionalist thing ever. It's just compared to the modern commercials in which everyone is androgynous and weird, like that Jaguar commercial where everyone looks like kind of a mutant. After so many years of this woke, bizarre, sexual propaganda,
I'm sorry. It was funny. It was funny.
I think the broader point is the word eugenics never appears anywhere in the commercial. She just says, I've got good genes. And so I guess the question you have to ask yourself if you're upset about the commercial is, do some people have good genes? Or some people naturally prettier than others? Is a Beyonce or a Sydney Sweeney more pretty than some fat schlub named Billy Bob that just is a matter of genetic inheritance? And I think if we're all being honest, we would all say that's true. Physical appearance is not necessarily representative of moral worth or spiritual value, but we would all say that's true. So can we just conclude,
beauty,
for sure. There is such a
beauty
thing
is
as
in the
pretty
eye of the
people
beholder.
and some
You,
things.
Michael,
I
that
get
may
it.
be, but that schlub you're talking about is beautiful to someone. I'll tell you that.
He's beautiful to God, at least. That's true.
Hey, Michael, one final thing. Since you're so smitten by Sydney, your wife have blonde hair and blue eyes. Just curious.
Listen, I would say Sydney Sweeney. She's the second most beautiful woman in the world. Sydney Sweeney. She's number two.
You'll find out if that save worked when you get home. Thanks, Michael. We will see you next week. Of course, you can catch the Michael Knowles Show weekdays on Daily Wire Plus.
See you, Michael.
Good to see you guys.
Coming up.
So Neal McDonough is revealing something that is really interesting about his path in Hollywood. He says that he was essentially blackballed in Hollywood for several years because he refused to kiss a woman on screen.
Be right back.
Buckle up, party people. The TMZ After Dark Tour is hitting Hollywood. Join Ray J and special guests as we hit the hottest restaurants, wildest bars, and sickest clubs. DJ Miles is dropping beats as we roll down Sunset and Hollywood Boulevard. The party starts every weekend at 7 p.m. from the Hard Rock Cafe. Book now at TMZTour.com. It's gonna be epic!
So Neal McDonough is revealing something that is really interesting about his path in Hollywood. Renowned actor, pretty
great.
A great actor,
He's
beloved.
great.
But he says that he was essentially blackballed in Hollywood for several years because he refused to kiss a woman on screen.
And refused because of his marriage.
Right. Now, he says this is not something his wife imposed, but once on one particular project, and he says there were projects where they worked with him on this, but there was one where they refused to, and he got the boot. And he says the reaction in Hollywood after that was really interesting to him. This is him on the Nothing Left Unsaid podcast with Tim Green. Here's what he had to say.
I always had in my contracts that I wouldn't kiss another woman on screen. And my wife didn't have any problem with it. It was me really who had a problem with it. When I wouldn't do it and they couldn't understand it, Hollywood just completely turned on me. For 2 years, I couldn't get a job and I lost everything you could possibly imagine. Not just houses and material things, but your swagger, your cool, who you are, your identity, everything. My identity was an actor, and a really good one. And once you don't have that identity, you're kind of lost in a tailspin. And I was in a big, ugly tailspin for a couple of years. It was something that was hard to get through. And, that's when I had a big drinking problem, because I thought drinking might be the only way to just kind of drown my sorrows. And I thought that Hollywood just completely turned on me and never wanted to invite me back to the dance again.
There is a lot of intolerance in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I mean, on all sorts of levels. There is a lot of intolerance. And look, I mean, apparently he's to a point now where his wife
has a project that came out earlier this year called The Last Rodeo.
And his wife was cast so he could have a kissing scene.
Right.
So they accommodated him, but he was blacklisted.
Yeah.
But like, honestly, I don't know what your guys' take on, like, where's the line of, like, not morality, because that's too strong of a word, right? But if you're gonna draw a hard line and, like, I'm not gonna do any kissing scenes, isn't there a way you can look at a script beforehand and know? Isn't there a level of professionality where it's like the whole point of an actor?
Well, I don't think he surprised people.
But the whole point of an actor, Harvey, what I'm getting at is you're playing someone else, right? So if you're playing someone else,
why go out for a role where you've read the script and you know that you're going to have to kiss a woman?
If you don't have that particular problem, then understand that the whole point of acting is that you're playing a role that's not you.
You're telling him that there are people who won't do explicit sex scenes. So it's the same principle. It's just taking it further.
Hey, it's Marie from Bellingham, Washington. I think that Neal really stuck to his integrity. He chose loyalty to his wife, and he was without work for 2 years and lost quite a bit. So, but hey, win-win. He was on Yellowstone, which is great, and now he's on The Last Rodeo.
And he's on Tulsa
King. Yeah.
He is a
Taylor
great
Sheridan
actor.
clearly loves him.
He's a great actor.
Yeah.
Coming up.
Keanu Reeves, good news and bad news. He had tens of thousands of dollars of watches stolen.
I believe, was over 100,000. Guess what? Got him back.
If his insurance company paid for the theft, he has to repay the insurance company now.
Yeah.
Be right back.
Okay, Keanu Reeves, good news and bad news. He had tens of thousands of dollars of watches stolen.
I believe, was over 100,000. Yes.
Well,
watches
guess what?
Stolen back in 2023. Guess what? 2025, he's got him back.
He got $75,000 of them back, so about half. So that's the good news, that he's got at least half his watches back. Here's the bad news. If his insurance company paid for the theft when his house was burglarized in Los Angeles and the watches made their way to Chile and he got them back, he has to repay the insurance company now.
Yeah.
So
by the way, he probably did take insurance on it, because we should say that a lot of these watches, Keanu is known as a very generous guy who gifts them to people on his cruise, on his movie cruise.
Right. And if he took the insurance, he has to pay that money back.
Where will he come up with the money? Oh my gosh.
It's still, I mean, if you think about it, if like 2 or 3 years later, all of a sudden, you owe us money.
But if you're working on a Keanu Reeves movie coming up, you might get one of these watches. We'll see you tomorrow.